apps for smartphones. Now, in November 2013, the many Yahoos who admired all Mayer's progress wondered, why was Mayer throwing away all the goodwill she had earned with a series of policies that were, at best, poorly rolled out and badly explained to employees, or, at worst, plain mistakes? They wondered, more seriously than at any time since she joined, if Mayer was actually up for the job of saving Yahoo. Mayer sat in front of them all, in a chair on a stage at the far end of the cafeteria. Next to her chair was a small table. Mayer had something with her. It looked like a book or a folder with an illustration on it. A couple months before, fashion magazine Vogue published a photo of Mayer. In the photo, Mayer was lying upside down on a chaise lounge. Her blonde hair was neatly fanned out and shiny like white gold. She was wearing a form-fitting blue Michael Kors dress, Yves Saint Laurent heels, and dark red lipstick. Her eyes held the camera, gazing sideways through half-closed lids. That Thursday in November, Mayer looked like a different person. She looked agitated, nervous. Her hair was wet. She wore no makeup. Mayer knew about the confusion and the anger in the room. She'd been reading about it all week. One of Mayer's first moves after joining Yahoo was to institute a weekly Friday afternoon meeting of all Yahoo employees, called FYI. The point of the meetings was to bring radical transparency to a company where, for many years, employees had to learn about what management was up to by reading the press, mostly reports from a journalist named Kara Swisher. FYI meetings would begin with a confidentiality reminder. Mayer would announce new hires and work anniversaries. Then she would go over Yahoo's wins of the week. Mayer or another executive would go into deep dives, giving presentations on topics like why Yahoo had acquired a certain company or how a new Yahoo product worked. At the end of the meeting, Mayer would take questions from Yahoo employees and either answer them herself or ask one of her direct reports to squirm in the spotlight. Sometimes the questions would come in live from a Yahoo employee holding a microphone and URLs. More often, the questions were submitted during the week leading up to the FYI through an application called Yahoo Moderator on Yahoo's internal network. Everyone in the company could see questions after they were submitted, and employees would vote on which questions they wanted Mayer to answer that week. Over the next year, employees asked Mayer tough questions on confidential topics, and she, or one of her top executives, would answer them with surprising candor. A popular topic? The status of layoffs and reorganizations reported on by the press. Another, why was she blocking so many good hires? Whenever Yahoo spent millions of dollars to buy a startup, employees would demand an explanation from Mayer. Finally, one Friday in October 2013, someone asked Mayer if she would do an FYI where the questions were submitted anonymously. Mayer said yes. When the questions came in, they were so brutal that Mayer decided not to wait until a Friday to address them. So now it was a Thursday, November 7, 2013. Everyone in the company was waiting for Mayer to say something to remind them that she was the CEO who was finally going to restore Yahoo to its rightful place in the internet industry. Mayer took a breath. She said hello to everyone. She reminded them of the meeting's confidentiality. She said she looked through their questions and she had something she wanted to read. It had been a book in her hands after all, a children's book. She began to read. Bobby had a nickel all his very own. Should he buy some candy or an ice cream cone? Mayer held the book up to show the employees the illustrations. Should he buy a bubble pipe or a boat of wood? Another illustration. Maybe, though, a little truck would be the best of all. Employees and URLs exchanged looks. At their desks,